Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Um, my new motto, of course, is keep your ass at home. Just keep it at home. Our country right now has determined that we are going to be hunkering down for the month of April. And maybe that's the best thing to do because this thing has just been growing like crazy and we're losing people. You guys might remember when I was at the Super Bowl or last year, Michelle, who lives in Australia. Um, she's like my stepdaughter. She was an intern for my wife about 7, 8 years ago, and she has been working with Tracy for years and things like that. Her and PK, like I said, they're like family. Well, Michelle called us yesterday and was talking about her dad, who's in Chicago, who was in a hospital on a ventilator. And they said it was just a matter of time. Shout out, Michelle. I'm so sorry for your loss. And I pray for you, your family, and for all of us. Because we've never faced anything like this before. And it's time to get serious. It is truly time to get serious. The only way we're going to get a hold of this thing is for people to keep away from others. That don't mean, oh, well, I can just go slip down and see my girlfriend across the state lines. Doesn't mean, I could have a party, you know. We'll be okay. This thing is like, I wish I could remember the name of the damn movie. But Denzel and John Goodman, where it was the spirit that was invisible that just kept jumping from person to person. And they would try and kill him, but every time they did, he would just jump to somebody else. That's what this thing is, y'all. It's just jumping from person to person to person. And you can't tell who's got it. The only way you can be sure is wash your face, wash your hands, don't touch your face, keep your distance, and don't go out. Careful what you touch. Because I don't want to be here pouring one for you. So, we're knee deep here in the off season. And the NFL has put out current cap space numbers. They put out the Cowboys, we're 15th with $19.5 million. I don't think that has Dontari Poe's number on it just yet, but which will bring us down to about 15 million. It's kind of interesting because what they said about the Cowboys is you can't pay Dak because if you pay Dak, you won't have money for others. Well, the way we're paying Dak at the moment is with that franchise tag, which is the most expensive way on the cap that you can pay somebody. He's the third highest cap number because you have a franchise tag. If they go ahead and get him a long-term deal, it'll bring that number down. Now, it's funny because I sit here and I talk. I put out a lot of ideas and a lot of content because that's what I do. I can't sit still. I drive my wife crazy because she's like, honey, we got time off. Sit down, let's watch TV. And I sit there for about an hour or so, but my mind is racing. Ideas are in my head and this urge to move. And that's why I come through. And that's why YouTube is so great for me. Because it gets me a break. It gets me something to do. It breaks the monotony. And I can keep my mind flowing on ideas. And what I said, I've said a couple of things. I said, first of all, Cowboys, you need to make sure you pay Dak Prescott before Deshaun Watson and before Pat Mahomes get their deal. The same way I said that last year, I said you needed to get it done before Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, and Russell Wilson did. We didn't do that. Had we, we'd be looking pretty good right now, because you'd probably be paying about $29-30 million a year for our quarterback, which would be phenomenal. But we didn't. But I said you need to do that because Pat Mahomes and Deshaun Watson are definitely going to be above that $35 million range. We know that. We know Pat Mahomes is probably going to be the first $40+ million person, and deservedly so. I'm not disputing that. But I also said, as everybody kept going through and saying, you can't pay Dak Prescott, and when I would say Kansas City is in dire straits as opposed to the Cowboys as far as it goes, I said, technically, you really can't pay Pat Mahomes because you don't have the money to. I said, you will have to gut the team in order to have the money to pay Pat Mahomes. But people said, no, you got to pay Pat Mahomes. You know, he's the Super Bowl MVP. You got to pay him. I said, I understand you got to pay him. But when you do pay him, you don't have the money to pay him. The Cowboys had $77 million starting out. They still have 19, and they signed Dak Prescott to a franchise tag the most expensive way. You kept Amari Cooper. You brought in Dontari Poe. You brought in Clinton Ha Dix. You signed another kicker in Greg Zuerlein, right? You've made all of those moves, and you still have, probably after Poe's deals taken out of there, about $15 million. And when you finally get Dak Prescott's deal done, you'll probably still have about $25 million left. And I said, in order to pay Pat Mahomes, you will have to gut the team. Now, they haven't paid Pat Mahomes right now yet. Not yet. They've let go some players already. Players that played quite a bit. And they had more free agents than the Dallas Cowboys. We had 26, they had 27. Now, here's the interesting thing, because I don't know anything because I'm just a YouTuber. But as you go through this list of cap room that teams have with the Dallas Cowboys, and you think, well, damn, they only have 19 million? Damn. You know what Kansas City has right now? And they have not paid Pat Mahomes? They are minus $255,000. Cowboys are right here, middle of the pack with 19. Kansas City is below the cap. See what I said? Listen, you need to do Pat Mahomes like you did Dak Prescott. You need to wait till next year before you can get him a deal. Quite frankly, you need to go to him and say, hey, Pat, man, I need you to take a team-friendly deal next year. Not this year. Next year, because we can't field the team if we pay you this year. We don't have any money. Literally, they don't have any money. They will have to release some more players. They're going to have to release some players just to sign their rookie draft class, because they don't even have money for that right now. So it's kind of funny that what I said actually kind of works. Because I said, you can sign Dak, you can sign Amari, and you can sign anybody else that you want to. And the amazing thing is, here's the amazing thing about this. Not there's any big free agents out there that you really want to pay for, unless you're making a trade. Make a trade, you're going to need to take on a big contract. You can do that too. But here's the thing. The Cowboys, even with roughly having $15 million right now, with Poe's number added in, they'll get that money from Dak Prescott if they get him a long-term deal. If they wanted to, they could do something with Tyrone Crawford's contract, say, we're going to reduce that because you're a $9.5 million hit, if they wanted to. If they wanted to, they could restructure, say, Zach Martin and grab a quick $8 million there. But they don't even need to do any of these things to make some other moves. So much for the doom and gloom of paying Dak Prescott. With that being said, well, I'm going to call it a night. Shout out to Gerald Chavez out in California, who is ordering not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, but 7 shot glass racks. 7! Thank you very much, because these are hard times and you need to find something to keep you busy, and I'm happy that I can keep a little bit busier. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, I'm glad I can reach over here and turn out the lights. This one, Michelle, to you, your dad, and your family, and everybody out there suffering from this. I'll see you in the morning.